Good evening, Super League fans, and a Merry Christmas, one and all. Hope you're all well. It's the 27th of the 12th. It's Sunday night, and we are live. I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by two members of the Haggis contingent. First up, I believe, is the media manager, Mr. Tato Mourinho. How you doing, mate?
Evening all, not bad, thank you. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
And of course, any Haggis takeover would not be complete without the main man himself. His authority could never be questioned. It is Mr. Ian Campbell. How you doing, mate?
Not bad. I think folk were expecting to say Rocks there, weren't they? And the main man. And I am here under duress, so I was threatened with expulsion for the league and transfer ban. So I'm here basically because I've got to be, basically.
Okay. Got the fixtures up on screen. Any that have catched your eye, Ian?
The Haggis one, obviously. The rest, brutally honest, I didn't really care too much about. Obviously, I like keep an eye on Fulchester, Dudley Hill, Bostock. Wethersford's a kind of, if both teams could lose, I'd be quite happy there. Hools, Northern Burn, I'm dying for Ian to get off the mark. I can't see it being tonight, unfortunately. Looking at Boston, I hope they get absolutely destroyed. Devils, obviously, I want to see them do well. Spartac's Los Gazelles. I was going to wish Rob all the best, but he's not going to be dig out at me, so I hope he's not been able to taste any fucking Christmas dinner, and I'll be getting.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty much everything, then.
That
Tato,
sorts it out, doesn't it?
yeah. Haggis 10 games in, up in fifth. 15 goals for and 14 against. Won half the games. What do you make of the start of the season?
It's been okay. We've not really hit any form as such, but we're still in the mix. I don't think you can look too much into the table, and obviously it'd be nice to be at top. But again, you can look. I could look all the way down to 12th, and any one of them could still win it, in my opinion. There's so much can happen. I've lost out on the last day. Last season I lost out, and then the season before I made it on the last day. So you can't look too much into the table at the moment, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's very tight. It's like he says, anyone all the way down's in with a chance still. I can still see the top two dropping like a stone as well very soon.
Are the fans of the Haggis and all, are they happy with the start? I know you're the kind of fan liaison, Tato.
Yeah, they seem happy with the start. They're I think like the management team, I think they're after a bit of they want to see a bit more firepower, but we go with what we've got. We've got a good squad there, and the fans are happy. Like Ian says, we've not even hit top form yet, really. Several wins on the board, and we haven't even got out of fourth gear yet, so a lot more to come.
Good, and obviously the arrivals of maybe less so Ivan Helguera, but definitely Pavel Nedved will have given the fans a boost. Only losing Archie back and Luciano Zauria. That's got to be seen as good business, hasn't it?
That's very good business. I don't know how they've got that one over the line. That's very good. I know Nedved's a bit hit and miss maybe for other people, but centre mid, he's very, very good. So, yeah, I'm very pleased with that.
And that's where he starts tonight, centre mid, going straight into the team as you'd expect. Another name in the team tonight, Landon Donovan, come straight up from the reserves into the team. Enrique Chiesa making a start because we've got injuries to Salas. No start for Saha. Are you happy with the lineup?
Yeah, good. The fans hate Saha. That's the feedback I've been getting.
Right.
Donovan's an interesting one. Martin will be happy. He absolutely loves him, doesn't he?
He does preach about Landon Donovan quite a bit.
I've never played him much myself.
No. Good evening to those in the chat, even Mr. David Wright and Hazcard.
Two Haggis lads.
Yep, two Haggis lads. I think I can just about hear you, Ian. I think Alf's saying you're a bit tinny, but I wouldn't worry about it. Just talk as if you are perfectly clear, and we'll catch what we catch. We don't catch what we don't catch. Mr. Campbell, you've bizarrely answered all his critics so far, hasn't he? 4 games, 3 nines and a 7. I know I was one to say maybe he wasn't the strongest, but he's doing great, isn't he?
Yeah, as a keeper position is it's a funny position, as you know, but he's done the business, isn't he? He was never in my thoughts, but look, it's that 9-7-9-9. You just can't grumble at that. He'll keep his place until there's a howler, basically. That's how it's going to go. On my being tinny, Ryan, I've got my headphones on. I could take them off in Bluetooth and see if that makes a difference. If you bear with me for 30 seconds.
Testo, you might have to comment and tell me if you can hear the same thing as me. He seems to be loud one second, then a little bit quieter than next.
Yeah, I would agree there. That's probably just more Ian himself than his reception. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
Bizarre's been class. I've never played with him before. You'd have to say he's up there with Bartes at the moment this season, or just behind Bartes for form and general performance. Because keepers you can normally expect to 7s and 6s the majority of the time, but is brilliant there, really.
He's not played enough games to qualify
No,
for
not
the
yet.
average rating, but I think he will do after tonight. Actually, I think it's
if he does all right, yeah, he should be up there, shouldn't
he? Yeah. Let's tell you what. Let's crack on with the games. Let's go into fixtures. We're going to start and go in game order. So we're going to start off at Astor. Let's go to Mr. Mannering himself. I don't know where that's come from. That worked pretty well, didn't it? But,
be interesting to see which Astor turn up today.
Yeah.
Because you've got absolute world beaters one week and then they're getting spanked the next.
So, Alf, your team's on screen. If anything's wrong with it, let me know. But obviously, the big thing is Henri's now gone. In's come Alan Shearer. Maseratzi's also come in, but only makes the bench tonight. He's also brought Diego Tristan in from the reserves. A lot of people always have a few comments on Astor's squad. Mr. Campbell, anything you'd like to say?
On paper, that front three looks extremely dangerous. I don't know why he had Tristan in the reserves, but that front three should cause any team problems, in my opinion. Moving back to AMC, Mehmet Scholl and Rui Costa, no my favourites, but Scholl is decent. Rui Costa also decent. The one thing I would say about Alf's team would be his selection in DMC. Kaluzny is outstanding. He'd be in there all day long for me. Takenard and Lennon, I do believe he's got Duff somewhere. I don't know if he's injured, but he was in his reserves. I know he was speaking about getting rid of him. Is he right? He's injured. That's fair enough. Then he's brought him in for the reserves, but I know he wasn't in his plans. His business is Shearer's all right first season. Matarazzi, I know he's been a Astor player before. He's got rid of Henri and brought in Shearer. I don't know about that.
Henri for Shearer is mad for me as well, Ian.
Yeah, definitely, Tato, definitely. So it's maybe a bit questionable, his transfer dealings. Personally, I wouldn't have done the Shearer for Henri, but he's got Shevchenko and Diego Tristan there, who, in my opinion, are two of the better ones in the league. Aye.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Kaluzny in as well. It's about time he played.
Yeah.
Trying all these other ones, and he's got a world-class defensive mid in his squad there that he needs to just keep playing him. So glad to see him.
One man who hasn't done much business, or any business, should I say, is Kieran at Churchtown. Although he's been rejecting all offers and not really making any himself. I think he's quite happy with what he's got and willing to give it more time. One thing he has done is brought in Mendes de Silva from the reserves. He's been solid in reserves, and he's dropped Cristiano Zanetti. Top league goal scorer at the moment, 9 goals in 10 games, is Tomadira, aka Antonio Lopez. He's been switching between Jibril Cisse and Nuno Gomez. I think he's had someone else. He's played Madeira up front on his own. A team that you think will make the top 6, Teto?
No, not for me. No. No, I mean he's heavily reliant on Toe up front, isn't he? For me, I think he's heavily reliant on him. Nuno Gomez don't do it for me. Fullbacks are half decent. Zanetti's good. I said at the start of the season he was it's heavy on one side, the right-hand side. With his Zanetti, compared to Cole, it's chalk and cheese for me, but he knows what he's doing, doesn't he? So
He does. He's been there. He's done that before. Message from the chat is saying that a lot of people were fans of your Silent Night rendition. I must admit, I was a fan of it as well. It was great work, Tato. So,
thank you very much. Thanks to all the fans, the legions. Thank you.
Right, Astor v Churchtown predictions, gents.
3-1 Astor.
Mr. Campbell.
I'll go 2-1 Churchtown.
2-1 Churchtown. Right, let's get this show on the road. Looks like we've got Shevchenko, a few offense there.
Looks very attacking, Astor, isn't he? There you go. Look at that.
Okoronkwo against the run of play, I think, but he's the away side of taking the lead. Seen Shevchenko's name mentioned a few times. Okoronkwo and John Terry, Patrick Power mentioned quite a bit, and that's
that's a shame. That's a bad one.
It's a key man for him as well.
It's got to be Donny straight in, isn't it?
It's got to be. I don't think I've seen Kieran in the chat, so he's most likely not with us live. But I'll do that if he wants me to stop, and he can dive in and tell me.
It's not getting anybody else there, is it?
No, not really. 26 minutes gone. I'll just play until half time. Big loss though.
Is Astor not a shot on goal? Did I see there?
Yeah, I just saw that as well. Snuck that in.
Yeah, we'll probably discuss that at half time. This time for Tristan, this could be Del Vecchio or Zamorano. I think it's most likely
Zamorano.
Yeah.
Same.
Loves him,
I think I've seen Alf speak though, so I'm just going to wait a couple of seconds and just give if Alf can give me the nod that it's Zamorano coming on, then I'll do that.
I said Sam.
Yeah,
said Sam.
Got it.
Had to be, didn't it?
Honestly, I actually think for a second Scotland's internet was faster than mine, so.
No chance.
A brief glitch in the matrix there. A lot of blue and white at the moment. Nuno Gomez mentioned a few times. It seems like a lot of text in this first half, doesn't it? It's gone on quite a while.
It's gone on a while.
And it's been relatively level as well. Astor, who had a bit of a slow start, come into it, but are a goal behind. Both had 3 shots on target, been in the Churchtown area quite a lot, and Astor have had all the possession, so Alf potentially could have feel a little bit unlucky. Goal came from a corner from Aymar, with Okoronkwo nodding home. Don't know what's happened with Aymar. They just had to go off injured, and
Churchtown's completed percentages there are pretty low on the stats. They're generally pretty low there compared to Astor's.
They do indeed. Alf, do you want to come in the comments if you want to make any subs, mate? And Tato, do you want to talk us through Astor's first half?
Yeah, looking pretty good. They've got that defensive midfield. Lennon, obviously winning all his tackles, doing well. So Kolozny, obviously, very good player, doing well. Hupia, solid. Shearer, he's not one for me. I'm not a fan of Shearer at all. Even first season, I've never got him playing. But again, Alf knows what he's doing. But yeah, not much going on there, is there really? Mainly on the defensive mid. Not much going forward. They need to get the ball further forward quickly. It looks like very few key passes.
Yeah, I was going to say that a very lack of key passes there. Churchtown have got the goal, Ian.
Wow.
Only one pass themselves. Key pass from Patrick Power. What do you make of that?
Doesn't look like they've had much of anything really. I mean, again, I ratings isn't really something I look at, like average ratings or courses of seasons. Obviously, I look at the match rating, but the only thing there that matters to me is the top of the screen 1-0 Churchtown. He's got to be delighted with that. No so much with the Aymar injury. He's not had the ball. I'd be a wee bit concerned Astor hadn't had a shot after 26 minutes, whatever, but they've came right in it and had more shots on goal than he has. I'd be a wee bit concerned at that. But if they can keep it tight, again, there's not really any standouts. Keeper on an 8, Cole on an 8, the rest pretty average. So I think he'd take a draw now, to be honest with you. We're looking at the ratings and the way Astor coming in. I don't think he'd be too displeased with a draw, but obviously he'll be looking to.
Yeah, I think as you kind of mentioned there, Astor came into it after 26 minutes, and that's when Aymar went off injured. So whether that was a key injury, which has kind of affected how Churchtown were playing.
He's your best player in.
Yeah, I think him and Madeira, who's definitely there's two
with
more.
one AMC as well. If you're only playing one of them and it's him, he's vital in it there.
Yeah. Right, let's kick off second half and see where we go from here.
Ooh, 10 minutes gone already.
Yeah, it flew that, didn't it? Alpha, I think will want to go relatively soon.
Touchdown.
Can see Madeira bagging one here. In the second touch of the game.
Don't think it's Astor's day.
It doesn't look like it. 20 minutes to go, though. Still got a bit of time left. Shevchenko's name's been mentioned a few times. You'd think if anyone's going to get one, it might be him.
Not creating much, are they?
Not really.
That's a really, really good second half of Churchtown. Soaking it all up.
Solid. Nullified the 5 up front.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that is how they finished, and it's a Churchtown defensive masterclass, really. On the stats, relatively level. Alfie will be gutted with that one. That they probably deserved a draw on the balance of play overall. They've won the majority of the headers and tackles, better pass completion, more overall shots, but less on target. Action zones relatively level, but they've had more possession. They've not played that badly at all. I think you wouldn't expect a defeat with those match ratings. What do you reckon, Ian?
Definitely no, mate. That if you were to look at that, you would expect that to be a winning side. It can't be too displeased. I think he had chances. Well, he had more chances in Churchtown. I just think they were right stuffy and just basically soaked up the pressure and done enough. But he's going to be a wee bit disappointed. Shearer got a 7. He was involved in it. Again, the ratings are good. You know what I mean? There's nobody really let him down. It's maybe just the strikers not putting the ball in the net. It's been the thing that's cost them.
Yeah,
If only he had one in his squad. The French one.
Oh yeah, Thierry Henry has gone out of the way. But I mean, Alf obviously he made that transfer and stuck with it before Henry hit form, and I think Henry, after he'd made that transfer, scored 5 goals, which maybe Alf simply regretted that transfer but stuck with it. Jens Lehmann, man of the match, Tato.
Yeah, commanding that, just a commanding performance. Really, like we said, the ratings are better for Astor. The average rate the ratings at the end of it, but look at that, very very solid. They didn't have much of the ball by the looks of it. Gomez, Madeira didn't have much of the ball at all. You would say Nuno Gomez's touches, most of them would be headers by the looks of it, or at least challenging for the headers. You can't argue that. Absolute defensive masterclass in the end. Ground it out.
Terry Okonkwo and Jens Lehmann. It's a solid backline that they've got, and they've done the business tonight. Churchtown just hitting a bit of form, I think. They beat Bostock last week. Might be a bit of change in fortunes for them.
Good results there, yeah.
Yeah. We'll be off to next. That's where we're going next, to Bostock.
Absolute scum.
Right, I can't even find them. That's so much. I'm already on them. Right. He's kind of made a few interesting decisions this season. He stuck with Castroman all season, so he's not been in the Super League before. He made a few changes last time out, but he's kind of gone back with them. He stuck with Zidane after a lot of managers were wondering that he might have gone. 2 players he's brought in, Vicente and Johnson, both on the bench tonight. Not really lost anyone who was starting. Paredes hadn't made an appearance for them. I don't think Ian Hart had either. No.
That's some good deal in that.
You think that's good business from Scott?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Good Johnson anyway. I think it's good to see with Neville back in as well, because he took him out last week, didn't he? Went one at the back and tried it, and it didn't. Is that right? I'm remembering right, Anna. Yeah, it didn't work, did it?
I think you can't really read too much into it, really, because of the early red card for Andre. I think that definitely impacted the overall result. But yeah, he has reverted back to a more tried and tested formation. Alan Smith, as Fifey's mentioned in the chat, is their top goal scorer. He's on the bench tonight.
Not on form though.
No, well, yeah, big shagger.
2 sixes he had the last couple of games.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons he's dropped him. And let's move across town to to Leddersford, who are a team in bad form. I think they've lost their last 3. Kucherov coming straight into the team. He's let a couple of strikers go, and because he only plays one up top. Ian, what do you reckon of this? Yusuf Hersey also coming in.
He had to change for his one at the back, didn't he? But it was, I mean, for me, that isn't an away formation anyway. If you're going to, you can throw it in and you will get the odd win at home. Kutuzov, I like him. I don't know if his pedigree in the Super League is up to much. I believe he was at Chudley before, didn't really play, and I think he was maybe at Alf as well, but he's never really done in the Super League. But again, he's a quality player. Montella is capable, as you well know, is capable of scoring. I don't know. He's obviously Echevarria. I prefer him further up the field. Hersey, likewise. Vogel's one of the best in the game. Nesta, again, speaks for himself. Keeper, not too. He's all right. I'd probably have Tybee in, but I think this one.
I agree with you there, mate.
Travelling.
Tybee and over.
I think Hodge would be happy with a point here, like, because Bostock are in pretty good form. I just seen that Bostock, they've got Riquelme still to come in, and I'm pretty convinced that Scott will put Riquelme into centre mid and get Zidane to fuck, and that is a pretty, it pains me to say it, but it's a pretty imperious looking squad at Bostock.
So this kind of, you think this will be a Bostock win tonight, Ian, then, or do you reckon Leddersford will get something?
I do. I hope it's a draw. I hope Podgy gets a wee sneaky point here, but I can only see it being a Bostock home win, unfortunately.
Yeah, 3-1 Bostock. Yeah.
Obviously,
a bit too strong.
These are 2 members of the famous Yorkshire cartel, which I know you have a particular issue with, which the season. Hopefully, that doesn't impact your judgment on tonight's proceedings. Greaves has gone with 1-1. Mac is saying a draw would be great here. Zidane saying, quoting Ian, saying, get Zidane to fuck. Alf going for a Leddersford win. Hascard and Dimble going for a Bostock win. Evening, gents. Right, let's kick this one off. And it's a quick start from Bostock. In 10 minutes flew past. Goal from Sorokinski. And that's not what Scott would have wanted. But Eto fires back quite quickly. I don't know what happened. I'm pretty sure that's his first. He said that's his first ever goal. It might be. Yeah. I got confused there, so let's continue. 4 assists. I thought he'd scored one before now.
That's gone quickly, that half.
It has, yeah. 42 minutes gone. I think quite often this season the Bostock games just seem to fly past. It does look like both teams have had chances though.
Yeah, it's been a good game, that.
Yeah, apart from the kind of gaps in time, it has been a really, really solid game. Really,
should probably try and win a header at some point, Leddersford.
They should. They can win a tackle, but they can't seem to win a header. Let's have a quick look at a lot more in Leddersford's area than Bostock's. A lot in midfield as well. Echevarria knocks it down for Sorokinski, and Zidane corner drove in by Eto. Maybe not anything too flashy in the goals. Mr. Campbell, I'll let you talk about your friends at Bostock.
I know he's been happy with Eto. We were speaking about him the other night. Actually, he's got pretty high hopes for him. He's no one I've assigned a lot, even though I like Mallorca in the game. He's going to be happy with Zidane getting the assist. Overall,
he's not been credited with the assist by the looks of it.
As you know, I thought right. He's going to be on that. Vieira's just not doing it. Maybe I don't know if Scotty's on the chat. Maybe Chuck Smith on, but I can't see him doing that, to be honest.
Yeah, he's put him on.
Well, he has done it. That's what I would consider. This could be a wee. Just send Vieira up the road, Scotty, if you didn't mind. But he can't be that pleased with the ratings. He's scored, which is all he can really do. But this could be this is interesting. This is interesting. This half.
Yeah, completely agree. Mr. Teto Mourinho. Leddersford got the early goal, but the stats don't look too fantastic.
No, going forward they're poor, aren't they? Not touching it much, but Stanley they've got a solid back six, haven't they? So you're going to get that sometimes. But Montella's not really firing this season either. He's a bit of a disappointment overall, I would suggest. One of the best strikers in the game first season.
He's he took a lot of flack when he was at Dragons in the previous iteration before I took him to Phoenix and made him into a world beater.
Nice. Need to offer some tips out then, don't you?
He's now taking him off. Actually, I've just seen the chat.
Oof.
Morientes on for Montella. Hope that wasn't influenced by my suggestions. The assist coming from Exaberia. I know he's one of my favourite players in the game. He's not really done too much for Hodgie, but Hodgie really needs to get some points on the board after 3 defeats on the bounce. So, yeah, let's hope for another entertaining and close first half.
Let's hope it stays at 1-1.
Yeah, I can see Ian making trying not to offend his mate Scott too much because he wants to take Vieri off him. But that's Samuel again.
Nice.
No longer in the assist, but now he's in with the goals, and that is a bit of a sickener considering how fast the second half is going. But it does look like Leathersford had a couple of chances there.
Very hard to score against Bostock.
But they have done though.
It worked.
Oh my!
That was well timed.
And
wow.
And Bostock seemed to have finished the game 5 minutes before the final whistle.
Oh.
And wow! And Leathersford, from being behind, have gone on to do one on the Yorkshire Cartel compatriots.
Great substitution at half time as well.
Yeah, 9 shots on target to Bostock's 5. Relatively flat action zones, but less possession. I think Hodgie's got to be happy with that. I think you've asked him 85 minutes, he'll have been a bit gutted. Ask him at 95, and obviously he's delighted.
Deserved it there, really, if you look at the stats.
Yeah, deserved it, definitely. Mileski cross for Eto for the Bostock goal. It looks like a Morientes shot, which he's kind of picked up on the rebound from. And then Yusuf Hersey puts one in the top corner after Kutuzov.
It's a good signing. I'm bringing him in. Hersey, big move that to get him into the first team.
Yeah, I like the managers that have basically gone to strengthen their starting 11s. I think that's a big thing. I think there's a lot of teams who just kind of do, squad man for squad man, kind of transfers, and it kind of like, well, what's the point? So Tato, your comments on Bostock, Samuel Eto'o, man of the match, 2 goals, but not enough.
Yeah, he's done well to get man of the match with an 8 there. First, he's played so well. Casterman might need to get out of the team now. There after that, I was weak, wasn't it? Really overall, I'd be putting Tudor on the right and then Good Johnson in myself there. Big fan of Good Johnson on the bench. Zidane, he's probably disappointed with that again there. No key passes. You got Lisa Azu doing all the work there in the key pass region.
People love to have a go at Zidane, don't they? He's always a target. I know he's not.
I like him myself on the game, but you can't be happy with his performance so far. It's not. I don't know. Maybe he's a free roll kind of guy, but I don't know myself.
Yeah. I listened to the Bostock and Fifey 1-on-1 earlier. I don't know if you guys managed to catch up with it yet, but one of the things that Scott said was that he's happy with how things are going, but he'd be keen for Zidane and Vieri to start putting in some big performances. Well, they've lost tonight, and Zidane and Vieri both putting in a 6 is not what he wants at all. Yeah, not good. On a positive note, Leathersford, 3 games, 3 defeats, now a win away against the league leaders, Ian.
Hodgie's going to be absolutely delighted with that. I have to say that, like, when Eto got the second goal, I would never have fucking said they were going to get into that game. So a wee bit shithouse at the end, but an inspired sub at half time. Morientes for Montella, maybe a bit questionable, but he's came on, done the business, bringing Hersey and doing the business. Good rate in second half. He needed that. That's a massive win, like, because Bostock have been pretty good apart from last week, but that's a huge win for Hodgie, and the keeper getting an 8 as well after we were saying he's shite, so he's got to be delighted with that.
Yeah, it's the old commentator thing. I always say shite, always get something.
Echeverria must have played terribly that game to get 2 assists and only get a 7.
He
must have had a stinker.
13 passes, he's not been in the game at all, really, has he? Considering in a key position for Leathersford, I would say Exeter on that right hand side. But he's obviously a lot of it's gone down the middle. You see that Hursty's not in the game too much, but yeah, when he has managed to get the ball out wide on the right, he's got 2 key passes out of it against Liz Razou, who obviously one of their better performance. So that's probably one of the reasons he's been kept quiet. But yeah, Podgy's going to be happy. Congratulations to them. Commiserations to Bostock.
Game that.
It was a good game, wasn't it? Nice to have a 3-2. I always get fixtures. It should be fixtures here. Right, we're skipping Dragons versus Haggis till the end. So we go to the C-Suite. C-Suite's currently on tour up in Scotland for Christmas. He's brought in Roman Vasiliuk. Let's just have a quick look at his lineup, make sure Mac is happy with it. Another one is tinking a little bit. Vasiliuk's coming up top. Still no space for Michael Owen. He's gone with 3 DMs. Matt Manaman's coming on the right hand side. He's dropped Alcan to the reserves. Mr. Campbell, do you want to talk about your good friend, Mr. Mac?
Indeed. He's had. I think he's got to be. I know he plays it down and stuff. He's had a pretty reasonable start to the season. His squad could be better. I look at the centre half. He's got their Yusuf Haram. He's all right in the game. He's not great. His defensive midfielders. I give him Makalele. I mean, look at Valharan. He isn't great, to be honest with you. So that would be
an
a bit.
unreal season.
Yeah, he is. It totally is. It totally is. And again, stats aren't the fucking everything, but that would be my. If I was to look at his squad, that'd probably be the weak area for me. He's got Yepes there, who, again, you can't argue with average ratings. David Prutton, I don't know why he's anywhere near there. I know he's decent in home saves and he becomes good and that. Right now, maybe not for me, but again, I'm no one to question Macca's selections. Veron's always going to do fucking something there. I just think.
Would you have Verede in ahead of either of those? Obviously, he's playing Valgarin on his own. For me, Macca's. I'm always in Macca's ear, kind of thing, seeing how he's doing. Not always talking about Super League, but I don't think he's in his top 2 centre halves. Valgarin. I think he's. I would definitely be starting Verede and Yepes. I think they're both better than Valgarin, but you can't argue with that rating, can you? And if you look at the team stats, goals conceded, I mean, one at the back, and he's conceded the least in the league. So I think Macca's right to stick with Valgarin, considering how
absolutely. You'd be crazy to drop him his play mail, but again, just on paper, you wouldn't have him starting. But again, that's credit to Macca for chucking him in, and he's on a fucking superb average rating, isn't he?
Yeah, and
I'd be looking at Finnan over Prutton myself, just for this particular game while Biscan's injured, but that's just me.
Player that I like, and Macca's probably not going to start him, but I really like Moreno Torricelli starting the game. Starts at Fiorentina. If you can get hold of him early, first couple of seasons, I think he's great. This kind of gives you an example of how little Macca listens to me when it comes to his team. Because I'm always thinking, I think Michael Owen and Torricelli should be getting a game, and every week he just completely ignores me. So
Vasiliuk's a good shout. I'm happy. I'm glad he's brought him, and I like him. Big fan of him.
That was from the Devils. Wasn't getting a game there, so it could be a key signing for him. Tonight, he is up against Dudley Hill, who were in some seriously bad form.
Oh, look at that.
And
he's got some grumpy players there.
He does. He obviously bounced back last week with a victory over the Dragons. He's got that man, Nicholas and Nelka, worried that his club's leagueness will affect his reputation. Yeah, that one has started. He's brought Alex in and Crespo. I think that front 3 is pretty frightening. What do you think, Teto? Good business?
Yeah, that's a nice team. So look at the, bringing in Crespo is always good. Who's he got rid of there?
So you just look at those bottom.
Robin, getting rid of Robin is, that's mad for me. But if you're bringing in Crespo, I suppose it excuses itself. That front 3 is brilliant, like you say. The whole team is really. I don't particularly get the defence. I don't know what Patrick Anderson's doing there.
That's something which, he's looked at him several times. I think his stats are fantastic. He's never someone that I'd ever gone for in a home save. And at first sight, I completely agree with you. But then kind of was chatting to Steve, and he's kind of convinced me a little bit. He said he's always, do you mean he's always posting good results, European Defender of the Year and things like that, always
Yeah,
captain of
that's true.
Sweden. So obviously, I think because he's at Bayern, unless you start with Bayern, it's hard to get hold of him. But yeah,
The rest of the team there is absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Not a fan of Conceição, but there's 9 players there that are very, very good.
do you think Kiotis? Do you think he's a season one?
Yeah, fan of him. Yeah, I've played him. I know it doesn't speak much, sound like Alf. I've played him on home saves. Been very, very good. No problem first season, even in top teams. So better than Babos and Langfield, certainly.
Yeah, Mr. Edwards saying game of the week potential here. Fulchester versus Dudley Hill. Mr. Wright saying fucking hell. Any predictions from you gents?
Oh, God knows. 4-3 Dudley Hill.
4-3 Dudley Hill. Mr. Campbell?
I'm going to have to remain loyal and go 3-1 Fulchester.
3-1 for the Fulchester. We'll just wait a couple of seconds, see if we get any predictions in the chat. I see Rob Marshall of Sloths is going for a Desmond. Greavesy wants a drug test for Husvalgaran. I completely agree with that one. Alfbridge going one apiece. Hodgie saying 7-0. Obviously, Hodgie might have an ulterior motive there. Mr. Edwards going 3-2.
Steve's got to get Dudley Hill playing soon because that team is very good. It needs to.
I don't know how much you know about the kind of draw pre-season at Tato, but we had like a marquee list where each manager, each club got one player out of the marquee list. Now, because of his transfer dealings, he's now got Crespo, Totti, and Davids, who are all on that list. So as you kind of said, he's got rid of Rob and he's lost a couple of other players. Joe Cole, I think, is another decent player he's lost in the transfers. But I completely agree that the team he's put together is pretty much outstanding.
Yeah, his transfer dealing and his choice 11 is very, very strong. So I hope he does well.
Right, a couple of away victories predicted from Greavesy and Dimble and Duggan. Steve's front three is unreal, but we're going to kick off. 2 minutes gone, we've already got a bit of action. See Nicky Butt and Crespo involved. Vasiliuk involved there for Fulchester. I think it's not the best game for Dudley to start his new front three against obviously that meanest defence in the league in Fulchester.
Just Valharan.
Pardon?
And he's just Valharan on his own.
Yeah, but he's got 3 solid defensive midfielders there as Mr. Campbell, Makalele, and I mean low key in my opinion, probably definitely one of the
Fucking hell.
Jesus.
Talk about grinding goals out. We've got a full house at the C-suite for this one, as you'd expect, and Fulchester are putting on a clinic, aren't they? Really.
Ron is class, isn't
he? He is class. I mean, low key in my opinion. I'm a huge fan of him. In his Lazio days, and obviously when I'm at Phoenix, absolutely loved Juan Sebastian Veron. A quick look at how the goals have gone in. And Giggs again. How many assists has Giggs got this season? But Giggs Veron getting with Carlos and heading the ball home, and we've got Vasiliuk going past Kiotis. Maybe Kiotis quite lucky to stay on the pitch, no yellow card even, and Rivaldo making no mistake. It's pretty much been all in the Dudley Hill end as well. It's been definitely a clinic so far.
Brilliant.
Your boys have turned up, Ian.
They have indeed. It was just a clinical first half, and I was a bit concerned pre-match with Useful Haran up against that front line, the front three, and particularly Dudley, but he's just nullified it totally, and he's looking comfortable at the halfway stage. I mean, Vasiliuk, I fancy him for a goal. He was one I tried to get for Fife actually, but he'd already done the deal. I thought that is a solid squad, and the guys that I didn't fancy are doing okay. McManaman I didn't like, but he's again, I'm not wanting to question Macca's judgment, but he's got to be delighted with that.
Yeah, got to be. You're looking at the key passes there from Ryan Giggs. I think he's low key been the best player in the Super League this season so far in the community. Quick look at him there. That's another assist on that, and another.
He's been unreal.
Yeah, he's only had 3 goals and that's makes 6 assists, 4 man of the matches. he's going to be up there in the average ratings.
Pretty much already got this man of the match as well, hasn't he? Already,
Yeah,
you'd imagine.
Well on his way to it. Tato,
Oh,
Steve's going to be covering his eyes, isn't he?
yeah, that's bad. That's a lot of sixes, isn't it, for a team of that quality? He's not got the ball. He hasn't had the ball, has he? Really? Well, saying that, he's not done much with the ball, shall we say? He's a few key passes and things, but then once it gets further forward, they don't. Early days, obviously, but they're not really gelling. He's struggled to get anything out of Totti, hasn't he, all season? So seems to be carrying on that today, unfortunately. But yeah, it's finding it difficult there, isn't he?
Yeah,
Not sure whether it's the
comes on.
tactics or whatever. Or I don't know.
Youngberg's coming on for Conchester. I just think that's maybe looking at what he's got on the bench and doing something. For doing he's doing something's better than doing nothing, but it definitely needs a big.
Colchester have been brilliant now. They've been absolutely brilliant. While Harron only made 2 tackles, he didn't need to do anything. There's one at the back, so
Yeah. Well,
they've
it
been
has
brilliant.
been known on Champman that first halves and full-time results are very different. So let's see what happens in the second half. Whether Fulchester continue with this lecture on the game, or whether Dudley come back into it. Whether Hoos might get sent off and the game changes. Does look like Dudley have started quickly. Very South American team, Dudley, I think, are putting out there. Obviously, Crespo, Ronaldo, Alex, Roberto Carlos. You've got quite a few of those lads. 20 minutes to go though, and neither team have embellished further on the scoreline.
Playing it out, Fulchester.
They've sat back, haven't they? Definitely.
Yeah.
I've seen
Very strong.
His name mentioned a lot, and it's now 3 minutes to go. I think it's unlikely that anything else happens from here. And
another clean sheet there, Fulchester.
Another clean sheet, Fulchester, and yeah, they let Dudley Hill come into it second half. But as you kind of said, they had no real need to go on the offensive, did they? Pretty much flat in the action zones, possession, Fulchester's way. No further big things, and yeah.
Still at 11 goals conceded for the season. Can't argue with that at all.
Yeah, I think that's probably, probably Macca's most convincing performance of the season. He's ground out a few results. I don't think that was the case tonight. I think they just basically did the job in the first half and then just saw the game out. Veron picked up man of the match at this aside to Giggs, but you can't really complain about all 8s and 7s. Really good so yeah.
Yeah, no weak performances there. That's the best performance of the night so far. That from any team, I think. So solid. Just couldn't get through. Dudley, they've got all that quality, and they couldn't get anything going.
Let's come to you, Mr. Campbell. Where's it going wrong for Dudley? What would you be doing different to Steve?
It's difficult, isn't it? He's tried different formations. I mean, you couldn't get by a win at home. He changed that about, but you've got to react. I think he's been looking at this one. Fulchester at home, a dangerous game. He's thought, right, I'll go 3 at the back. I've still got the attacking players that should, on paper, be able to cause problems, but it's just no work to it. Alex is one for me that I made a big fuss about getting him off you, Ryan, if you remember, but I signed him in a later version of Champ. I think he was at Fenerbahce or something. And in this version, he just isn't fucking what you need. I mean, you look at Veron and the others. His stats are all right, but he done nothing for me. Crespo obviously is flattered to deceive as well in the Super League. He's getting a 7 and he's just no doing it. I think he's going to regret getting rid of Gattuso personally as well. I didn't think he should be playing.
You had Gattuso at Midlothian, didn't you?
I did, and he was outstanding, mate. Him and Gerrard, I know, and now he's at Northern Burn. We'll come on to them later, but he should still. I mean, that front 3 should be scoring a goal. I mean, against Yusuf Haran, but again, Steve, he knows what he's doing. So I just didn't think we'll be seeing 3 at the back again. We'll be surprised if we did anyway.
Yeah, been that, Steve.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing. And I always like sometimes saying that I do every now and again have a nose at people's tactics and see what they're doing. Do you mean Steve's not doing anything too different to what the other lads are doing? It's as I'll say about Mr. Campbell at Northern Burn, and sometimes just things aren't clicking. Do you mean sometimes that you could put 11 players out for Bostock Stanley, and for whatever reason those 11 players are working, and then you can put the same tactic on for maybe 11, you could say, consider slightly better players at Northern Burn, and they'll get beaten. It's that might be the case in some of these games tonight. That is champ, isn't it? Sometimes so you can put a decent team out there, and for some reason they just keep getting beat.
You might need to drop one of the stars for one of those run-of-the-mill players that people talk about. A good mixture of absolute legends of the game, and then a few mixtures. Maybe he's got a few too many top stars. I don't know how it works.
That's never happened with me, to be honest with you. And it's an interesting one. I've never had an issue with having too many top players. It's always been to me. Talking about Northern Burn briefly, there we go on a journey with them across the sea, across the ocean to Norway and to Hull's Vikings. It's been a season of two halves so far for Hull's. Obviously, they lost their first four, then they won the next four, then they've lost and they've won. Things settling down a little bit. I think it might be the only team or one of only two teams in the league not to have a draw so far this season. A lot of it is during the change to this type of formation with four at the back. He's made a slight edit on that tonight. Rather than going for the 1-3, he's gone for the 1-2-1 in midfield. Is this something you like the look of, Ian?
That formation there is what I would play on every home save. That's my go-to formation. That there. So anybody saying that diamond midfielder, that's the formation I play. Flat back four with the arrows, exactly the same as that, mate. That is exactly what I play, and it keeps you tight at the back. And with these, look at the firepower he's got. That for me is probably my favourite Super League team, to be honest with you. Maybe taking Beckham at the equation. That is a fucking team. Narrow, he had to bin that, and he done well. He's brought Liverani in, who I love. It's a great signing. Nikiforenko, we know what he's doing at AM, but Ndiaye, amazing. I love Ndiaye. Campbell, when he's no injured, is fucking superb. I really like that team, and I think if he can keep injuries and that, keep free injuries, he's going to be nailed on for the top six in my opinion. Also, a wee tribute to the number 38 there, who sadly passed, but again, there's goals in that team all day long for me.
Yeah, just to mention that obviously a legend of the game, Maxim Tizalco, passed. I think it was yesterday, or it might have been a couple of days
Christmas
ago.
Eve.
Christmas Eve, yeah. Obviously, absolute. So many people do the challenge. He's won two of the World Cups of Champman players. As Maxim, absolutely huge. So I've just asked. He's asked where is Tizalco's nickname. I know he put him into the team.
Rest in peace.
Right, I'll put that on then just for this game.
Yeah, that front three is class. I'm with Ian. That front three is very fun to watch and one of the best in the league.
Yeah. So obviously I put that nickname on. I hope that's okay. Obviously I think he was actually on the bench. Maxim with Pizarro starting, and obviously as a little tribute, Jens brought him in. Nice, classy touch there. Obviously Van Nistelrooy a little bit too good to drop, and not willing to go with the three up front, which is quite understandable. Yeah, I really respect it. I think as Scott alluded to on the one-on-one with Pfeiffer before, that you mean he kind of built his squad around a narrow formation, and then 4 games in that isn't working, and he's had the bollocks to kind of say, right, let's change this. Yeah, which takes a bit of balls, and I think he's brought. I mean, players like Ian Hart in there, he's kind of afterthoughts of kind of he's brought them into kind of strengthen where he's at. Northern Burn, on the other hand, they started maybe a little bit unlucky. I know the game against Haggis, they could have been said to be a little bit unlucky in that game there, where they got a point away, a few draws, 2-2s, 1-1s, and then after the 2-1 defeat at home to Bostock, they've been hammered 3 games on the bounce. Yeah, they've gone for something different tonight.
Whoa.
What do you think? Who did I go through then? I'm sorry, I get mixed up.
Go on, Ian. You're the gaffer.
I will let you, because I've done the last one. I'm just going to say Zambrotta should not be playing there. For me, again, if I'm proven wrong, I'll gladly eat humble pie. But for me, Zambrotta should be further back, even wing back or right mid. Same with Georgiatos, never a fucking winger or whatever position that is, AML. Gattuso and Davis, I love. Gerrard and Robin. Robin, maybe more AM or maybe even Robin out where Georgiatos is. Henry, AMC, I know he's been doing it this season. It's a quality team. I'll let you take over on that table, but players on paper, he should be doing a lot better than what he has been doing.
Yeah, I'd be. Yeah, I wouldn't be playing those two wingers right up there either. They're definitely fullbacks. I think Zambrotta will do all right. He'll do a job there because I think he's quality enough. I'm not sure that that's the best. I would have Robben out wide as well. I'd have Robben out left. He's done very good business for me. Very good transfer business. I'd probably be putting Gerrard in at defensive mid maybe as part of the three. Just sort of, it looks very, very strange. I hope he does well, but Robben probably out wide for me.
Yeah, he's 17 as well. Obviously, he's a huge player on the game, but is he a player that can do it first season? Obviously, not do too much for Dudley Hill. 1 goal, no assist, no man of the match, 7.22 rating. Interesting to see. I know the further we go into the game, then he is one of the main men. So yeah, no question.
His team is good there though. Like that, he's got a good squad and a good team. Like if you look at the players there.
Oh, completely agree. But has his recent results made him get a bit desperate and give Fifey a call for the random tactic generator? And
possibly. I think anybody can lose to, well, Haggis did, but anyone can lose to Astor 4-0. And Fulchester, we can see how absolutely dominant they are. So 2-0 to them isn't a major issue. I think the only bad result was Dragons 4-0. So he might have pulled the trigger too soon, but well, I hope he gets a win.
Yeah, I am right in thinking, I'm just double going to check this though. He's made 4 transfers in the window, which is literally just opened, and Silvestre, Gattuso, Henry, and Robin all start. So
good signings, them.
So he's made 4 signings, obviously wanting to overhaul the first team, which is an interesting one. Any predictions from you gents on what you think tonight? Predictions in the chat. Greaves is going 4-0 to Hools, as is Fifey. Alfie's going 1 apiece.
3-0 Hools for me, but I think Burn will turn it around soon, but not today. Hools too good.
Greavesy said Albertini should be playing. I'm not too sure what he means. These aren't your teams, Greavy, so let's make sure. If I've got anything wrong, but anyway, Mr. Edwards said it's all good, so I think I'm all right. Sorry, continue, lads.
I think this could be a naughty one for Hills, because I think Ian's maybe tried to. It looks, for me, away from home, it looks a bit too adventurous. I think this could be a bit of hiding again. I hope it isn't, but I think it could be a Hills win, 3-0.
Okay. Well, let's kick it off. See how we get on. I think it's his opinion. 6 minutes gone. There's been a lot of black and whites.
Maxim's scoring today. I'll tell you now.
There you go.
Beckham has one ruled out for offside, I believe. Henry, obviously in good form at Astor.
Come back into it, Burn there.
Taking this form to Northern Burn. Maybe there is a bit of a shock on the cards. 38 minutes gone. It's flying. It looks like the longer the game's gone on, the more Northern Burn have come into it. You can't. I think it's half time there. For me, I can't see Hull's not scoring, so Northern Burn might need more if they're going to keep it that way. But first half, Ian's very happy with. Relatively tight at the back, only allowing 1 shot on target to his 4 from himself. More passes completed, not winning the tackles, but winning the headers. Relatively flat in the action zones. So let's look at the goal went in. Georgiatos volley at goal. Costanzo let the ball run free. Henry had a chance and scored. Not what Jens will be looking at as a great first half performance, Tato.
No. His midfield seems to be letting him down a bit there, doesn't it? But they're up against 4 central Northern Burn midfielders, so that could be having a bit of an impact on those central guys, your Beckhams and your Liveranis, because they're coming up against 4 of them, really, aren't they? But not as not as not what he would want. And I'm a massive fan of Jen's, mainly his face, but as is well documented. But he'd be hoping for better there. I think the first 4 attempts on goal were all in the first 10 minutes by the looks of the text. They seem to be hammering him, and then they just stopped, didn't they? You can see pretty much 4 attempts there that he's had, and that was it for the game. So yeah, he was hoping for a couple of early goals, and Burn held out.
So far, they've held out. Ian, obviously, this is a bit more like it for Mr. Edwards.
As early on, see, but at the start of the game and in that disallowed goal for Huls, I think that was a turning point. I could see it being a bit of another bad day at the office for Ian until that goal was disallowed, and it seemed to turn on that. And he's got to be fucking praying. If it was me, I wouldn't be watching the second half. I'd just be hoping that was it finished now. But that's me like it. Gattuso coming in, doing bits with his tackles, getting a 7, completing his passes. That's what he wants. He knows he can do. Gerrard, he can play centre mid. I played him centre mid. He's maybe no with the arrow, but he can play centre mid. His team's fucking outrageously good. You know what I mean? His signings have been great. It's 1-0's always dangerous on it, but I think an early goal either way, this could be interesting.
Greavesy asking, is Henry the best goal scoring AMC on the game? Probably this season so far. Dimble giving Burn some love. Let's have a look. It doesn't look like it started with a lot of black and white again. Whether Jens has given a bit of a bollocking at half time. I saw Nicky Ferenko's name again. But 60 minutes, half an hour to go, and it looks like Neil and Burn are holding out still. Banana shots from Van Nistelrooy. Francesco Toldo's name keeps getting mentioned. Beckham, Van Nistelrooy, Maxime mentioned a couple of times there. 20 minutes to go. And
a lot of Huls second half, I think.
Yeah, it's more Huls, but they've not managed to get that goal, have they? Looks like it might be.
Look at those signings, 2 signings.
And I tell you what,
love that.
Talk about dancing around the living room. That's what Mr. Campbell will be doing at the moment. 2 of his new boys straight in with goals. But is it maybe dancing a little bit too soon? David Beckham getting one back. 5 minutes to go. 1 minute to go. Oh,
solid. That's a good win. That is a very good win there.
He has held out. That is a huge victory for Northern Burn. They've been, I'd say, more accurate is definitely part of the script. So it's 8 of his 9 shots are on target versus only 9 of Huls' 16. Probably a draw, in my opinion, might have been a fairer result here. But tell you what, Ian's had his fair share of bad luck this season, and in fairness, in previous seasons. So he won't be losing any sleep over that. Congratulations, I will say that myself, to Ian on his first win. That's everyone.
Yeah, well done, Ian.
Yeah, unlucky to Jens, of course. Action zones, relatively level, maybe a little bit more in the Northern Burn area, but obviously the 1-0 and 2-0 up, you'd expect them to be trying to hit Huls on the break. Quick look at the goals. I can just hear my daughter screaming a little bit, so hopefully I should feel a bit quieter. So I might let you guys talk in a second. Slashed and roll by Robin. Beckham pulling Nikarenko. Mr. Campbell, do you want to talk us through Huls?
There's not really any bad ratings there. He hooked Cordoba at half time, and the guy Ian Hart's came on and done better. He's not done too much wrong there. I think he clearly had a lot more of the ball, shots on target. I think the story of the second half here has been teams sort of just soaking up pressure and just seeing out the game. I mean, you can't be too disappointed with the ratings in that there. No keeper howlers as yet. I think it's maybe just one of the games, but I'm delighted for Ian to get that first one on the board. But I don't think there's too much to be concerned about for Jens. Maybe a wee bit of blueprint for managers travelling to Norway. They can see how they can maybe get at that back 4 and come away with a win, which is a big win for Burn.
It's a huge win, especially obviously playing that kind of formation away from home.
Definitely.
Maybe saying that, might be a little bit naive, maybe ready to be on the end of a hiding, but obviously Ian's lads, his new lads, especially Robin and Henry, have done business tonight. maybe not pulled up any trees, Teto.
No, it feels like a bit like a smash and a grab when you look at the ratings and the way they're leveled out. Jens is, he's got 8s all over the park, and then you've only got a few at Burn. But I thought they would look fairly comfortable in the main. It looked like Hools were taking a lot of pot shots from range, but yeah, Gattuso, what a signing he is there. That's, he's only won half his tackles, but the fact that he's completing 29 out of 32 passes. You've got Sean Davis is always going to do well there. Henri could be the sign of the season. I've got him up and running. And then obviously I'm a massive fan of Robin, and I'm happy to eat humble pie when he's putting a performance like that. And I've slated his positioning before the game, but you can see the two wide men, Zambrot and George Artos, haven't done much there, despite the win, and he'll be happy with that. And I saw Hascard say in the text, I wonder if he'll have the same formation next week. I would be surprised if he did, but you couldn't blame him if he wanted to go with it again.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I will say that if anyone deserves some points against the run of play, it is definitely Mr. Campbell. He's had to put up with quite a few unlucky results, shall I say. So for him to get on the other end of one of those, I think he's nothing less than he deserves. Quick look at the fixtures, and we move on to one of the top of the table clashes. It's Locomotive versus the Devils, maybe an unlikely top of the table clash. Let's have a quick look at Locomotive's lineup. A couple of new signings, and Teto, what do you think?
Yeah, straight in at the top there. We heavily criticised his attack, and he's freshened it up with. He's got Franca and Inzaghi in there, isn't he? Which Inzaghi's good. He'll get him goals. I haven't played much with Franca. You can't argue with his stats, Inzaghi's, can you? His stats look absolutely woeful, but I say that about majority of this team, and they're absolutely brilliant. Greavy's got them playing like absolute legends. So Matty Holland gets a game.
Yeah, he wasn't even starting in the reserves, and he's been brought into the first team.
It's just another one of those players that he's brought in. He's probably going to be smashing out an 8 or a 9, because that's what he's got. That's how he's had them playing this season. So, he's injured. Yeah, he's a good signing. Big fan of him. D'accord.
I think he's done some good business. I'm not too sure about Pancaro, but them bottom two, Inzaghi and Decor.
Yeah, I'd agree there. Very good.
Franca, I think, just gives him. He's let Kuzuzov go, hasn't he? I think.
Just another Brazilian attacker in for him, innit? He loves him.
Yeah, he's lost Kuzuzov to Leddersford, so I think the Franca thing kind of gives him a little bit of cover in that attacking midfield position. Obviously, he's a player that Greavesy likes, so it'd be interesting to see. It's a bit more. I mean, if it's a bit more of a flamboyant attacking lineup, he's obviously.
That's his shithouse formation, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can't knock it. He's got him up to second in the league, so
he's got a team like that second. He's manager of the year so far, that lad.
Yeah, and 3 of the new boys involved, Franca and Inzaghi starting. The Devils, maybe not the surprise package in terms of which the players they've got, but maybe a surprise.
What's Dyer doing there?
Beyond me, mate. I've given up asking questions about Fifey's formations. I really have. Mr. Campbell, what do you think?
Yes, I don't know where Diaz and Uyar have came in for. I've got to question the business Fifey done in the window. I don't know. For me, it's I mean, I didn't see the value in any of them. Like coming in, any of them is weakening his first 11 for me. I mean, they're decent squad players. Phillips, he's good in the game. He's good as in no fucking top tier, but he's good. Again, he shouldn't be starting for me. The rest are just meh, as to quote Fifey, for me. But he's got one of the best squads for me. One of the best squads in the Super League. If he didn't do this random tactics generator stuff, he's undoubtedly got a chance. He's got Impenza scoring for the start of the season. That is always a good sign. I'm going to make a prediction. He will be the top goal scorer in the Super League this season, without a doubt for me. You look at these attacking players, Q, Ronaldinho, Dyer. I don't know about Dyer up in that far advanced, personally. But again, it's what Fifey's third in the league, so I can't question his tactics too much. Montero's a fucking beast. Frey's a great keeper. I just the guys that he's brought in, Uyer, and I mean, who's he dropped out for? Diaz and Uyer. I'd be interested to see who's dropped out for them.
Well, for me,
Van Bronckhorst, Gio Van Bronckhorst should be in there all day long.
I think he had
he's got
Solskjaer in his
He's-
lineup last week. I think for
He
what
said
like,
in the text. He said in the text that people were banging on at him to play Dyer attacking mid, and then he's
I've
done
never
it,
seen-
criticising him.
I-
But I'm not sure who these people are. I've not seen
I've
it.
never said play Dyer at AMC. Midfield centre for me, Dyer, or right wing back type, but never fucking attack. No, for me anyway. But listen,
I don't think that any of the players he brought in from Fulchester and Malcolm Ross, I think they were in the reserves at the opposite clubs, and obviously
they're just
he's
squad players.
got 3 in his first team squad now. I'm not too sure he's Grant's in the reserves, but Phillips on his bench, Uzi and Diaz are starting. I completely agree with the idea that Dyer should be a right wing back. He is not a bad kind of thing, but I mean, you just put Elisa Davy
He
there.
loves it. He loves it, Fifey, doesn't he? Though he loves it to try and prove everybody wrong.
Well, I think basically there's been a bit of infighting between Fifey and Montero, because basically I think Fifey gave a blueprint in last week for his team, and Montero just laughed at it, kicked Fifey out the dressing room, and then did the rest of the stuff. Obviously, he got that big result on the back of Montero picking the team. This week, obviously,
Dyer's got a 10 last week.
Yeah.
He's moved him completely.
It's just
He's been smashing it, Dyer. Look at that formation.
See Van Bronk, or even was that Kuhl at left wing back getting a 9. See, I wouldn't change if I'd just beat somebody like that at home. I wouldn't be changing a fucking thing personally. But that's Fifey. We know he's going to do that, aren't we?
Yeah, and obviously he's doing well, so we can't criticise him too much. He's up at third at the moment.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Scoring goals more than anyone else in the league. So as much as that management duo they've got going on there, obviously doing the business. Right, let's move towards the game. Obviously, a big game at the top of the league. Predictions, gents. Predictions in the chat.
1-1.
Well, I've got my Devils fucking lingerie and bodice on, so I'm hoping for a 4-0 Devils fucking whitewash here.
Is this obviously the hatred for the Locomotive Boston because of some uncompleted transfer dealings? I know that Hadji was kind of calling for a 7-0 because of something with Dudley Hill before. Is that
that's in the past now. I just like to see Fifey doing well, because he's a secret Haggis fan, and he's suffered fucking long enough down at the bottom and stuff. I wouldn't have been able to stick around as long as he has. So I just think I hope this run keeps going for him, and I wish him all the success.
Yep, a quick look at the
and I hate Boston as well. I hate Locomotive as well, to be honest.
I hate Boston as well. Shit houses.
Obviously, looking at the predictions in the chat, not too many have come in, but Hascard and Dimble both expect Devils victories. Yeah, and not much else really, unless there's a few things delayed. So we're going to kick this one off.
You can't write off fucking Locomotive though. I mean, Matt Holland in centre midfield, it shouldn't work, should it?
None of his team should work, but they're doing brilliantly.
Yeah.
He is the main man.
Yeah, as you mentioned, if you get him scoring early on in the season, he's hard to stop scoring, isn't he?
Yeah, totally, mate. That's what I'm saying. It's for me, he never really done it. He had a few injuries and that, but once he scores, he doesn't fucking stop, and I can just see him having 25 goals this season easy.
He got Kuhl and Ronaldinho supplying him as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing is something different for Boston. They've generally gone ahead in games and just kind of held on and the way to the victory. Now they're behind and they've not had a shot on target yet. So yeah, maybe not. Condiomis refereeing, as Fifey mentioned there, it's not been the best of games, has it, so far? Few tackles. Devils winning all the headers. Only 2 yellow cards for Locomotive. That's going to be a record at half time. It's usually about 5. It's
Fifey, the genius manager.
All been in Locomotive's area, hasn't it? They've not had too much of the ball, well, comparatively, but it's been all them. So again, credit Montero for picking up what Fifey's given. Ronaldinho free kick, and Penza climbs above Barthez. Tato, do you want to talk us through the Fifey masterclass?
Yeah, very solid. Yeah, you can't argue with it at all. Looking at that, he's got plenty of passes completed, plenty of tackles going in, so they're getting stuck in there. Montero, like we said, is an absolute beast. He doesn't lose a header at all. Ronaldinho as well, inexplicably winning all his headers. But Dyer not doing much, down from his 10 from last week. One key pass, and that was Mpenza to himself, maybe. But yeah, like you say, you've got Mpenza, Ronaldinho. That team, apart from the weird signings, that team is should be top 6 comfortably, and he does know what he's doing, Fifey. So he's doing well. Happy with that.
What I would say about Fifey is the idea is that in all his previous iterations of the Super League, in pretty much every other league, he's been playing this game without actually owning a copy of it or a laptop to play it on. Now, this is the first season that from the start he's actually not only got a laptop, but actually got the game and is actually playing it. So maybe the fact that he was out of practice may have been affecting his previous results. Now that he's actually playing the game, it's potentially having a positive impact. I can see that Fifey has said keep as is. I'm not too sure if Greaves still with us in the chat. I've not seen him in a while.
Barthez isn't performing. They're struggling, look.
Yeah, it's a big difference. Obviously, the new boys getting 6s as well. Pretty much everyone's getting a 6 apart from Petit. Not good enough, Campbell.
No, see, for me, their ratings are what I would expect for the players on that fucking screen for me. Maybe apart from Klompé, but that has probably been the ratings-wise, that's probably one of the worst I've seen this season, to be honest with you. I mean, Petit getting an 8, and that's just been a poor half. But again, they players for me are dog shit in the majority of them. You know what I mean? They really are. I mean, I don't know how he's managed to have the start of the season, which has been, you have to give him credit for that, I suppose. Whether it's been luck or fucking managerial masterclass, we'll wait and see. But when you've got Matt Holland and fucking centre midfield, I never expect many fucking good things to happen there.
No.
I'd agree. I'd agree.
I've just put a comment saying not having a positive impact with me, Ryan. Does anyone know what he's referring to there?
No.
No. Alf, if you could be a bit more clear about what's not having a positive impact with you, that'd be good. One shot on target in the first half, and that's been scored. Home saves, right? Home saves, okay.
He said home saves. He meant his home saves.
Right. Get you. I understand.
So Fifey having home saves isn't having a positive impact.
Right. No, it makes a lot more sense now. I get the context. Thank you, Alf. Right, let's kick this off second half. Hopefully, a bit more action from the goalkeepers.
Devils should see this out here with another couple of goals. You'd think, but
after me slating Lokomotiv, they're guaranteed. You shouldn't really write them off. I should know that by now, but fucking.
Only 20 minutes to go,
shouldn't.
though. Franca denied a great goal.
I mean, it's all Boston, isn't it? But
yeah, I keep seeing Franca's name quite a lot, but obviously Fifey's gone to goal 1.
Shithouse it.
Looks like Fifey is going to shithouse Greavesy, which is the one thing we would never have expected. I mean, and he has done. It looks like second half.
They've turned it around there, Boston, haven't they? But
yeah, I mean, they've turned it around. Not the best of games. Let's be clear. Fifey scoring his only goal. Yeah, the only shot on target. Fifey's boys have scored. That's coming from that. 3 at the 6 on target. It's not been great. Not been great at all. Possession wise, pretty. I mean, Locomotive's favourite action zone split. So a quick look at Devils. Don't want to dwell on this too much, but obviously big victory.
He's done well to go. He's done well to go there, Fifey, and get a win. It's a tough place to go. It's Boston against that shithouse 11. So he should be happy with that.
And yeah, and as Macca says, Greaves has been out shithoused by Fifey. I mean, let's be honest about Fifey. He is the shithouse, isn't he?
I hope he looks at that. I hope he looks at that Fifey and realizes that he's wasting Dyer in that weird position. Barry Ferguson as well is wasted in that position, and his fullbacks can be changed. But he's got a quality team there. It'd be what would it be top? Will it be top after that?
He might be, a Fulchester one. So I think they'll
Can't
be.
talk to that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but sorry, I don't really like clicking on that, giving a bit too much away. Manu Petit getting man of the match, even though they got beat. Nothing really going forward. A lot of touches. Couple of efforts from Amoroso and
Not got the
Franco as
quality.
well.
They haven't got the quality for me though. That attacking, and Holland can have a lot of the ball all
I'm
they want, but
I'm a fan of Inzaghi and Amoroso, and obviously I think Kaladza, I think Petit's quality. I think it's maybe a little bit overlooked, this team. I think he's got some quality in there. Mike Hollandague, not fantastic. Franca, not for me. But I don't think it's as bad as I don't think it's as bad as maybe a lot of people think. Um,
it can't be if he's doing so well, can it, mate? To be honest.
no, but a lot of people saying a lot of that's been down to how well Cannavaro and Bartes have been playing. Cannavaro obviously not massive average ratings, but he's had quite a few clean sheets. Bartes on an 8.1, nines, eights, obviously having a huge impact for them. It'd be interesting to see that now he's got the more attacking players in there in Franco and Inzaghi, whether he loses something in the other direction, which obviously gives from tonight's result.
Greaves has just said the only times he's lost because Klompy's played, which is interesting.
Yeah,
I have to say, I spoke to Klompy before the game, and he's still disconsolate that he couldn't get his move to Haggis. So I think there's read into that what you want.
Yeah, so he's obviously got Lucenhoff who's suspended, Lewison who's suspended. I think Lucenhoff is injured as well. Yeah, he's injured. So obviously, big losses for Locomotive, and he's had to bring Klompe in. Klompe, not a bad player, is he? Let's get this straight. Really, his marking's
I like
18,
him, yeah.
tackling 60. A lot of people go for Klompe, and he's relatively young for a defender. But that's his second game, and apparently he's lost both games that he started. So I can understand Greaves' frustration with him.
You won't be surprised to know that Fifey's crying in the chat.
Yeah, he's won and he's crying. That's what Fifey does, isn't it? He's few people like that. They just mourn. Fifey's the king of them, though. Where are we off to next? I think we're going to Kurdistan. I think we are heading to Kurdistan. Let's have a quick look at Rob Sloth. Hasn't done any business, I don't think. No, he's not. He's lost Evie Sand. He's going with this lineup. Are you a fan of the Lord God David Collins, Tato?
Yes, absolutely. A massive fan, and I think I was hoping you'd bring it up because if you look at the guy on Twitter, CM Intrinsic, he explains exactly why Collins is as good as he is. It's that leisure suit Larry. He explains exactly why, because of the intrinsic stuff on the game, why Collins is actually one of the best attacking midfielders on the game. Very interesting stuff, and I absolutely love him.
Yeah, so I believe that's because he's got he's got a low current ability, he's got a low potential ability, yet his right hand column, which isn't impacted by those kind of potential ability and current abilities, are really high. They somehow get multiplied.
Yeah, he's at the sweet spot where he's got a load of shit stats, but then he's got a couple of really high ones in the right places, and it makes him, like an absolute god on the game. His form doesn't show that, obviously, but
no, but he's got seven goals in 10 from a second midfielder, so I think that's one more than Henri, who people saying the best attacking midfielder. So is Henri that little bit better? A quick little glance over the rest of his squad.
Scally suspended, is he?
I don't think he's back, is he? Yeah, he is suspended. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I absolutely love Z Roberto on the game. One of these that if you kind of go exclusively off CM Scout, you'd never buy Z Roberto because CM Scout said he's crap, but I mean that's one of the reasons you just kind of discount it and go with what you actually know about the game, because an 8 rating, 6 success out of 10 games, absolutely
brilliant player.
Probably one of the best in that position on the game, in my opinion. Not a fan of Del Piero. I don't think. I just don't think I loved him in real life, King Del Pi, but absolutely not.
He's been ruined on this game, hasn't
he? Yeah. I'm also not a fan of Recoba, who he seems to be sticking with. I can see why he's sticking with him, but not a huge fan. think he's really solid at the back. Maybe a little bit too underrated defenders there in Gamara and Desai.
Old heads who love a tackle.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got someone else as well. Honshaw, who he obviously had at Phoenix, I think is really, really solid. But I can also see why he's been dropped. So, yeah, they've got a solid team. Do you reckon these guys will make top 6? They've been hanging there or thereabouts so far, too.
Yeah, I would say they'll scrape it in. Yeah, I'll say the goals from Collins and just because they're Roberto, you're guaranteed high ratings, and there's a hell of a lot of tackles in that team. Tomasi, the centre half, Scally when he's playing, they just tackle everything. So
if you've got this front line, Sand obviously injured tonight, but Martin Palermo, I was trying to think, Alvaro Recoba, I think he's got a few others in defence, Heidegger Johnson, Edmundo, Balfour Jean. Would you be starting Del Piero up front?
no, especially if you've got Zeraberto crossing it in, you'd be putting Palermo in there for his heading alone for me, and I'd be putting Cross the ball on very much so. But that's an inexperienced player like myself.
Yeah. I thought I'd give you the chance, Mr. Campbell, to talk about Gazelles. Obviously, you've had a few things to say about how people maybe overhyping Craig's team. Obviously, I know you're a huge fan of your own squad, and everyone else is a bit crap compared to you guys. But I know you mentioned Agahawa not being good enough early season. Craig's had an up and down start. What do you actually make of the Gazelles squad and tonight's lineup?
I know I had a wee bit to say, but on his start 11 as top 6. Let's be honest here. Keeper wise, probably no, but I know you had him at Phoenix and stuff. I was just more alluding to who he's got out with that starting 11, and I just having a wee look at it there. There's good players in there. I mean, they're decent, but I just think up front he's obviously got Clivert, and out with Clivert, who is he really? Raoul's obviously quality. In AMC, I would say Agahawa, no for me first season. I mean, who else has he got apart from Clivert for up front? Jardel, who I like Jardel. I've been trying to get him off him, but he's informed me that he's not doing any business in this window. He's one that I was very keen to bring to Haggis. But out with that, he's not got anybody. You know what I mean? And Carew could probably come in and do a job. Fernando Castillo and AMC definitely can do a job. Jacques, I mean, he has got a decent squad. When looking at there, it's decent. But I just think if Clivert's not firing, Jardel is more incapable as well. So I'll just retract everything I've said. He should easily be making the top 6 with that squad.
Yeah. Obviously, you have Mario Yardell, former Bolton Wanderer, so I always have a soft spot for players who used to play for the Wanderers, even if Yardell, I think, only made 3 appearances and was 25 stone overweight when he did. But yeah, I completely agree that he should have enough firepower there. I always take notice that he's also got 5 players in his starting 11 and 6 in his squad who've just got one name. I always think that obviously only 3 of them are Brazilian as well, so I always think sometimes when a player's just got one name, especially if it's only 4 letters long, then they must have a story about them. So
that back 6 is probably the best in the league, I would say.
So
because there's no weaknesses there in that back 6 at all.
Yeah, obviously, Mr. Campbell thinks that.
I'm not talking about the keeper. Keeper's awful.
So I understand that Lucio and Ferdinand is something to be reckoned with. Yeah. Right, predictions, gents.
3-1 Sloths.
3-1 Sloths. Home win, even with that big, strong squad that Gazelles have got. Mr. Campbell.
I was going to be nice to Rob, but then he just came out and attacked me fucking pre-stream. I will wish him all the best because I know he's had COVID and stuff. So, all joking aside, I hope he's on the mend soon. But tonight he's going to get beat 3-1.
Yeah, a lot of love for Rob, obviously. Huge fan of him as a person. Yeah, hope he recovers well. Always does an interesting deal, which I sometimes criticise, but there we are. Alf's win 1 apiece. Mr. Dimble is going for a Gazelles victory. Hascard going for a 2-2. Hascard quite saying that Yardell was shocking on CM0304.
Yeah, he was awful.
Yeah, he's kind of one of those players who just put on the weight. Right, Hodgie going 1-1. Right, let's kick off this and see how we get on. And it's a fast start. Not much happening in the first 15 minutes, but it looks like Sloth slightly had the better of it. Salahamovic's name been mentioned a few times. It looks like if anyway it's going to be Sloths, but now I've said that, the chances for Gazelles and Agahoa takes one.
I always worry when a team's like all over them early doors and they never score. I always fucking worry because the opposition guaranteed to come and score. Huh?
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happened there. But David Collins, that main man, has fired
There he
back.
is, my boy Collins.
Yeah, an intrinsic finish.
That's it.
Yeah, relatively level first half. The home team having a couple less shots on target than the away team, but having more passes. Both teams seem to be losing more tackles than they're winning. Work that one out. So yeah, it's pretty much
Very
level
even.
across the pitch, isn't it? To look at how the goals went in. Raul to Figo, Figo to Agahoa, and Agahoa free in the area puts it in nice and simple for the Gazelles by the sounds of it. And Tomasi sent the ball in the area for big David Collins, who
Douglas.
climbed above
Messed
the
up.
keeper. And dry. Usually, when a player climbs above the goalkeeper, we get some gusty wind, as Alf often points out, and Martin loves to talk about. Tonight it's dry and it's still happening. One apiece. Sloth's first half. What do you think, Ian?
It's okay, wasn't it? I get, like I was kind of saying at the beginning of the game, it was all red, and then they never scored. I always worry because usually it's a nailed on that the other team's going to come and fucking score, which did happen. I think he scored at a good fucking time just before half time. He's not really had a look at the ball. Looking at that, Zeriberto winning his tackles. It's been okay. Abiate on a 6. He's one I'm not really too keen on in the game. Collins doing what he does. Del Piero, I agree with you, Ryan. He's no for me. Tomasi, I'd rather have Scally, but obviously he's suspended. I think if it was me, I'd be bringing on Palermo for Del Piero. I don't know if Rob's and he's just I've just
done.
seen as well. That's what I would be doing. He's got to be happy because I mean he's got to be happy.
I saw that Joe Palmer chipped in there with Del Piero is shite, Rob, and I know as much as maybe you had this this kind of slave master and slave
He shouted from the cupboard.
He shouted from the cupboard, and the boss man has obviously listened, hasn't he? Mr. Edwards.
I think if you've got Zeriberto and Salahamzic on the wings, you've got to put in someone who can head the ball or someone with a bit of presence. For me, because
I love Palermo in the game. I think Palermo's quality, mate. I like him.
He's got 18 jumping, 18 heading. He's obviously a big presence up there. Movement off the ball, not too shabby at all. Yeah, I think I completely agree. If you're going to be putting crosses in, that's going to be your main thing. Then he's a huge man to have up there. And let's see what he does second half. Gazelle's not firing. Teto.
No, not much to comment on. Keno's not winning many of his tackles either, which is unlike him. But it's because he's got Collins dancing around him. Figo not doing much. He's got himself an assist. That's about it as well. But pretty weak from all around. Yeah, pretty dull game. Not dull, but pretty. No one's standing out really, is there at the moment? Pretty even.
No, I completely agree.
Interesting. It's an interesting game, but could go either way. I'm interested to see how it gets on.
Well, let's crack on then. Obviously, Haggis to come. Looks like Gazelle started quickly then, but now Big Martin Palermo's getting his shots in. And Despayi has scored, I think, by an unlucky cross for Gazelles has gone in. But that puts Sloss 2-1 up. Still going back and forward. I saw a pile driver from Figo, Raul hitting the bar and going over. Zeriberto now coming along down the aisle. It's Fiore with a good chance almost. 92 minutes gone. And Sloss have done it. That's a big victory.
Great one.
Big
Very good win that.
Yeah, obviously from behind as well. Even game, you can't really say probably just a draw would have been fair, but at home, good old Rob has managed to pull one out of the bag. Desai and Collins, maybe not. Well, Desai definitely not one of the biggest names for scoring goals, but doing bits tonight. Let's see.
So happy to see Collins scoring again. So happy.
So it looked like Zero Burst just stepped and drifted the corner and headed by Desai. Desai scored a fluke goal. How's that? If he's put a corner in and he's headed it and it's gone in, how's that a fluke? No idea. Anyway,
No idea either.
20 minutes then went by with nothing happening, and then there was a lot of back and forward, and yeah, they've ground it out. Let's quick look at Sloths first, and they deserve it. Well done to Rob and the lads. Abiati getting man of the match. Who did I go to about Gazelles at half time? I think it was Tato, so I'll talk to Tato now about Sloths. Is that a deserved victory?
Well, yeah, just about. You'd say just about, but it was pretty even, wasn't it? Well, Gazelle's probably had more of it, but like we said before the game, you got Gamara and Desai there. They've got a hell of a lot of tackles in them. And Gamara's had an absolute blinder, really. He's only got an 8 for it, but he's won a lot of key tackles and things like that. And
For me,
yeah, he's got
looking at defenders, and obviously you look at strength and positioning and things like that, but marking and tackling are that high. For me, he's nailed on one of the top
he's so
defenders
solid,
on the
isn't he?
game.
So
Yeah.
solid. Yeah, Rakoba going forward. Rakoba not done much. Fiore, I'm not a massive fan of, but he's doing well with them. They know what they're doing. Collins, yeah, he just always seems to pop up with a goal. Collins, even if he's not had the best of games the rest of the time. But Abiati going from a 6 to a 9 in half of football shows that Gazelles were probably on top. But nah, good, very good result. That could push them, propel them further up now towards the top now. Slots.
Yeah. Quick touch on Craig at Gazelles. Ian, obviously, as manager of Hoddleston, he had really good squads, was always near the top. A lot of managers in the last iteration of Super League said he kind of did better than his squad. Maybe got the most out of his squad last time. It was always tight. Maybe if you looked at his squad, might have been the worst squad on paper. Yet he was 7th and 8th, I think, in the 2 seasons in the Super League last time around. Now he's got a lot of managers saying probably one of the better squads, and he's not doing it in the top 6 at the moment. Have questions got to be asked about Craig?
No, listen, Craig, I agree with what you were saying there about the Hoddesdon squad, but Craig plays the game a lot and he knows what he's doing 100%. I think looking at that, Rob Douglas has been the guy that's let him down there. He's on a 6, but I believe that on paper you would think that Landry would be his number 1, but I believe he's been pretty poor for him. You can't be. I mean, he's looking at the ratings and stuff. He's not done too much wrong there. You know what I mean? I think maybe Douglas has let him down. Is it maybe time for Perlizzola to get a game? I don't know, but looking at the ratings and stuff, he's not done too much fucking wrong. Agahawa, who I was saying wasn't good enough, got the goal and an 8. I mean, the ratings aren't really too bad. I still don't know if he knows his go-to formation. I think he's a wee bit still. I mean, I don't think he started this season with that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's tried a few different formations. Rob Douglas for me isn't the answer, so I think Craig, I wouldn't be worrying. He's going to be there or there about the playoffs, guaranteed for me.
Yeah, he has mixed it about a bit a few times this season. Just having a quick look at the formations he's used. Obviously, he played a few different things before, but he's obviously had success with this formation. It's something that I used at Phoenix as well a few times, maybe with the shorter arrows on the wing backs. But yeah, right.
I think his back six is nailed on there, but he just needs to sort out the right combination going forward, I think.
Yeah. Right. And now, without further ado, let's talk about the Haggis. Let's before you're the away team, aren't you? So let's have a quick look at Mr. Hopkins' boys, the Dragons. Obviously, a disappointing start to the season for them. Only 9 points, only 2 victories. The 3-headed dragon maybe hasn't been as fantastic as the squad allows. It's brought in Archie back from yourselves and Luciano Zaria for losing Ivan Helguero and Pavel Nedved, who we'll talk about in a minute. Going for something a bit outrageous tonight.
Wow.
Obviously, I don't know if he wants to. Zia Elias is pretty much undroppable. Ibra Saeed needs to come back into the team. Obviously, one of the players that Intrinsic has had a look at and says how good he is. What's been going wrong for Dragons, and is this formation tonight the solution? Tato?
I'm not sure if the formation's the solution. Bold is the word, but Saeed and Zay Elias, you've got tackles all day there. Those two in there, and we've let Zauri and Back go there, and they're two solid players, Zauri and Back. So to draft them straight in, I'm not surprised. Back on his day can do absolute bits in that position, and he's probably better than Sador for me there. He's got to find the right combination up front, I suppose. But there's goals in that team. There is absolute goals in that front three, four even.
I'm just having a quick look at the comments there, and Duggan, quick to say he has had absolutely nothing to do, and he said this formation is something that's been derived halfway through a bender, and then he's also.
I don't think one at the back with three up the front is very, very bold, but we shall see.
Wood is saying I'm on the Dragons. Obviously, he's still got faith in Hopkins, even if Duggan hasn't. Here we go. It's now time to talk about the main men. Let's have a look at your transfer dealings. Obviously, so far 2 in, 2 out. We've lost Back, who I know is a favourite of yours at Midlothian. You also lost Zauri, but I know you weren't playing him too much. Agath was getting in ahead of him. But I think obviously those deals have been done to bring in Pavel Nedved. How happy are you with that?
That's the area, because we've not been able to get a fucking a top quality striker. I thought if we can get another midfielder, and the plan was to play him in a 3 beside Mendieta and Rosicky. For this game, Mendieta and Rosicky are now injured, so it totally blew that plan out the water. I think fucking Nedved's one of the best in the game. And centre mid, I know he's not done it for the Dragons, but for me, he's fucking quality. And on the left, there, centre 3. Archie Back and Zauri. Sorry?
He was fantastic for Panathinaikos last season. As much as Marcus slagged him off, I think he was his highest rated player. He's
a player, mate. He's a player.
Yeah. I know you're not a fan of Saha, Tato. Would you be going with Chiesa up front tonight? Obviously, Salah's injured. Would you not think maybe try Larson?
No, I wouldn't. I'd probably put Larson up there myself, and I'd be tempted to play Brozek, but season 1's a risk to play Brozek, but I'm a big fan of his. If you've got the stats, you may as well play them, but I bow to the superior intelligence of the gaffer.
That was talked about. That was absolutely talked about. I was more wanting to put Larson up top and chuck Brozek in, but my very able assistant decided on Chiesa keeping Larson in AMC. When I think Larson's better in AMC personally, but I was tempted to give him a wee shot up front.
Has he done much, Larson, at AMC? Yeah, a bit, but not.
Not particularly this season, but just in general, I personally think he's better in there. Donovan's fucking one of the players who becomes amazing in the game, but obviously we need another. Saha as well turns into a fucking end of season 1, becomes amazing, but he's just no one that I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah, interested to see how Donovan does. Looking forward to it. 6-0 Haggis.
Was there any strikers you were after in particular in the window? Any that you've still got your eye on, who you tried to get hold of?
I'm just looking, but I believe that I think we could have actually had Montella if he hadn't been fucking bought. So there's a few signings that I've done and dusted, and then I've realised that I've actually brought the player that I'm willing to get rid of in, because Rock's done the most of the business. So I think I'm just going to leave the transfers to Rocks, because I didn't have a fucking clue who we brought in. I was trying to sell Duljaj to Churchtown, but I was then informed that I'd brought him in, which I didn't even fucking know about. That was for Zanetti, believe it or not. So that was one I was keen to get over, but I brought him in, so that kind of...
Duljaj for Zanetti?
And I think it was maybe somebody else, but it was something along the lines, it was something like that. It was a good deal.
Yeah, I think, I might have had something to say about that one. Maybe kick Kieran in the head.
He knows that he's there. I'm not taking advantage of him. He knew exactly what was there. He maybe had a few Guinnesses at the time, but... Never happened anyway. So I've not got a good feeling about the night. See this one at the back shit at home. If you just chuck it in now and again, you'll get a result. So I've no too hopeful about this. But as I say, if I'd had a full select squad and we got beat, I would have felt a lot worse about this. But with us having a good few injuries, I'm not too. This is a sort of free hit, in my opinion.
So we've got some drizzle and Simon Michelet refereeing. Maka commenting on the mutiny going on in South Wales as both Widow and Duggan are saying Hopkins out. Devil's thinking that Fife is thinking that the Haggis Hunters are going to win 4-1.
Mon Haggis.
I'm not too sure what Chris Hodgson just said, could you? I'm not too sure who he's responding to, so I can't really comment.
Probably Montella. I imagine Montella.
Ah, right, yes. Ricey's thinking Dragons just, Alf Bridge going for a 0-0. I know you two are both going to be in favour of the Haggis. Any predictions on the scoreline?
2-0.
2-1, Haggis, just.
2-1 Haggis. Let's kick this one off then. Last match of the night. And it looks like it started quickly and the right direction for you guys.
Need a goal. Get in.
Nothing
Fuck.
so far.
This is when it goes wrong.
Back in. Imagine Archie back gets one tonight. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
It's a certainty, isn't it?
And you mentioned that in one of the comments during the week. Landon Donovan having an effort there. I mean, seen Nedved's name mentioned a few times. I think you definitely had the better of it without managing to break through.
Need to score though.
No, it looks like it might be 0-0 at half time. Yeah, relatively level. You had a few shots off target, 4 versus 3 on target. You had one more tackles, headers and passes, very much very similar. All down the Dragons' end though, so you've got to be happy about that. Even though you've had less possession, not really too much in the match report. Dave, do you have a quick mention of Dragons' first half?
Yeah, can look like he was keeping him in it during the game, and it seems like he has done there. He kept popping up, and he's had a stinker all season. He's having an absolute worldie tonight. Nice of Zawi to not turn up as well against the lads. And I've not seen Zay Elias only make 5 tackles before. He's normally on about 15 by now. But yeah, pretty standard performance that, isn't it? Saeed doing well as predicted. Ortega not sure about, and back fairly standard as well. I thought Haggis had the better of it then. But
thought Ortega. Interesting to see that Hopkins has been like a silent assassin. He actually put, if you guys saw that, he put a message in saying Salva for Ortega. And it's come up message retracted. Has he changed his mind? Has he seen the mutiny above? And so before I confirm that, I'm just going to cancel the change as he's retracted that message and just see what he actually wants me to do. So if Mr. Hopkins could actually give me an insight into his feelings whilst we're waiting on that insight, do you guys between you want to talk through the Haggis first half and let me know if you want any subs?
It's just been that killer up front, is it? I'm tempted with Brozek, but I don't know. Are we allowed to do positional changes? Can we move guys about?
No, it's just it's like for like at half time.
Aye.
I understand you'd probably want to put Larson up top and Brozek on, wouldn't you?
That would be what I would go for, I think. Aye, but I think fucking Nedved. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think it would be Zanoni for Nedved, but that's a bit negative. I think I've got to give him a run.
Yeah.
Aye, just got to go with it, I think.
Oh, it is. Wooder is staying happy with that sub. What would you guys do with? I mean, I'm interested to see. Obviously, you're the opposition's there. So I don't know why to ask you too much, but if people can say in the comments, with Mr. Hopkins putting a message out there and retracting it, what does that mean? Does he actually want me to go ahead with the sub, or does he not?
If he's retracted it, probably not.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably not as well. I'm going to give him maybe 30 seconds more to kind of clarify it, if you will.
Keepers on top. I think it was a more exciting game than a 0-0, and the stats look, to be fair. Keepers doing the business there.
Bizarri again doing bits for you. Yeah, I'm going to go with the two heads of the dragon. That maybe not Hopkins, but it looks like they
what it
both
says
want.
do the sub.
Yeah, they both want the sub done. So let's Ortega off for Salva the Leicester.
It better no fucking score now.
Let's kick the second half off then and see what happens. And
Oh.
again, it looks like the Haggis have started quickly, but I've seen there, and we saw a red card. Whoa. Right, so here the thing is now you do get to do a positional change if you want to. Obviously, I imagine Helgera is the substitution. You can't start messing around with swapping Brozek and Larson around, but you can if you wanted to take Donovan off and move people about up here to fill that spot. It's completely up to you guys. What do you
We'll
want
take that then. Take Donovan off for Helguera. I was tempted to go one at the back there, and move Larson into the middle.
Do you want the arrow?
Aye.
Happy with that, yeah.
Fucking hell, man. You're going to score for this.
It looks like you guys got a bit of fun out of it there. Not the best time to get a red card as well, just after the half time. And Gabriel Batistuta has compounded your misery with a goal. And Lee Boyer has added to it with a second. Not good news, I'm afraid, for the Hunters. I'm just trying to be positive for you guys. Is there a way back into it with 10 minutes to go? Probably not.
Not with 10.
No, not with 10. And Kevin Hoffman really has let you down in a big game there. Unlucky, gents. Up until
Needed
that
a goal
point,
earlier on.
Yeah, up until that point, I'd probably say you were slightly on top. Obviously, I think at the point of the red card, I clicked on it, and you had those 6 shots on target at that point. And since then, I think Dragons have had another 5 or 6, and you guys haven't had any. I don't think you got hammered by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, the action journalists say it was pretty level. Yeah, let's have a quick look at them, how the goals went in. Let's have a quick look at this, actually. Boyer was pushed by Hoffland. It's a bit harsh, maybe. No, but a push is a push. It's violent conduct. Just having a quick look at the chat there.
Archie back.
Duggan saying Hopkins in. Sadler saying Hopkins in. Viva Hopkins. Micah going with Hopkin. Bowyer found Baxter in the area plenty of time. And then it looks like Baumer has put it on the head of Lee Bowyer for the second goal. Obviously, big names in the Super League, done it before. Batistuta and Bowyer. And Bowyer getting man of the match tonight. I think they'll be, obviously, they've been meh about the performance before the red card, but they've obviously done the job after you guys have gone down to 10 men and got the victory. Not pulling up any trees, but obviously good performances from Calm, Wilfred Baumer, Lee Bowyer, and Batistuta. Look at the 2 key passes from Batistuta. Assists from Lee Bowyer and a goal. Dragons, that's a bit of a scalp for them, isn't it?
Yeah, solid defensive performance there, really, isn't it? If you look at that, very solid, and just couldn't get them down. It's been a problem in a few games this year for Haggis, and it well documented for the lads breaking teams down and getting that goal when we needed it, battering them for the first hour, I thought. But
yeah, I thought you were definitely a better team. I don't think there's no 2 ways about that. The red card obviously changed the game. Ian, is that? Can you take anything positive away from this game?
No, to be honest with you. Maybe in hindsight, maybe should have just went to 1 at the back. I don't think it would have changed too much. So to be honest, disappointing. Bizarre, still no shame in a 7. I think Khan's been utter mince all season. Comes in and gets a fucking 9. Vieri, bad. Probably his worst game for us, I would suggest. No spark. I think the sender off probably changed that. It was probably up to the sender off. It was probably the better, but a draw probably would be a fair result for me. But as I say, not too disappointed with the result, as we've had Mendy and Rosicu. I think when they come back in, we should be fine. What did Nedved get there? I didn't even notice him. That shows you how much he fucking impacted it.
To a 7, to be fair. All right.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
It could have been worse, but disappointed. Candela's been no bad. That's a disappointing 6 for him. I'm going to put down a bad day at the office, but there's going to be changes next game, 100%.
100% changes. A quick review of the results. Obviously, the big scoring game is at Leddersford. A lot of two dogged 1-0s from the Devils and Churchtown. Anything that stood out for you, Tato, apart from obviously the Haggis game?
I thought the Fulchester performance was quality against the good Dudley Hill team, and you got to give credit to the Devils as well. And Fifey, very, very good result away at Boston. It's a hard place to go, and he's done well there, Fifey.
Two teams that kind of got in front and then just shut up shop. And yeah, interesting. Ian, obviously, I know disappointed. Anything that you can, any other results, any other games that you enjoyed?
Probably the Leddersford game, to be honest with you. I think Hodgie needed that, to be honest with you. Fulchester looking pretty dangerous, and I think they're looking, and as you can see there, they're top of the pile. But I think obviously Ian getting his first win's a big thing. But that Leddersford victory was probably the most eye-catching for me.
Yeah, the team that was top of the league getting beat by the team that was down 11. Quick glance over at the top of the league, and now that takes us. It takes Fulchester to top of the pile. Defense being the key, and how tight it is at the top. There are 3 teams
So
on 20,
tight.
1 on 19. I mean, you guys are 3 points off the top, even after a defeat tonight. You could have been, you could have been up there as well, couldn't you? On 20. Yeah, I mean, doesn't get much tighter than this. Any surprise packages up there apart from Locomotive Boston, who we've already touched on?
Not for me. No, I would imagine Gazelles and Dudley Hill will be pushing the Hools as well. To be fair, there are a lot of good teams down in that bottom 6 as well. A lot of good players. Anyone's in it really.
Obviously, big shout out to Northern Burn getting the first win on W on the board tonight.
Massive result.
Yeah, long overdue to them. Well done to Ian. Yeah, right. If Hodgie is still about, and if the Dragons lads are still about, there's going to be some news as I click on the fixtures. As just I'll explain to all of you, as Leddersford Old Boys were the New Zealand team, and New Zealand have an international fixture, but Australia don't, right? And for whatever reason, when you're doing this, basically, it's still cancelled the Leddersford versus Dragons game, even though Dragons don't have any players in the New Zealand squad. Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense to me, but that means we've only got 6 games next week. When that next week will be, I'm not too sure. But obviously this game, Leddersford versus Dragons, has been postponed, and we'll do a special mini show for that game, when it's due. But for the rest of the 12 teams, the chance to get ahead. Obviously, any key games that stand out for you there. I can see you guys have got Gazelles at home. Again, you'll need to bounce back really, and it's not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. Devils versus Bostock, top of the league challenge. Churchtown, who've got a bit of form now. I think they've won the last 2. They're taking top of the league. Fulchester. That kind of Hools Vikings charge of victories has been halted. They've had a couple of knocks now. Any standout fixtures? Anything that you're looking forward to apart from your own game, of course?
I think the Devils Bostocks, that's going to be a humdinger, I think. Churchtown off the back of 2 wins, taking on Fulchester, that's another brigade. Dudley and Locomotive, that's going to be interesting.
To see that one, yeah. Dudley Boston there is interesting. Obviously, the Devils Bostock, but Dudley Boston, I'll be interested to see which way both of those teams are going to go, because either could turn up on the day. Interesting to see how it goes.
Yep. Quick look at the team stats if I can before I save this down. Look at that form table. Churchtown up at the top, maybe not what you'd expect. Bostock now with 2 defeats on the trot, as have Gazelles. NEP, obviously Northern Burn, 4 defeats, and now that elusive W at the end of the board, still at the bottom though.
So open, isn't it?
Yeah, so open. And Haggis, maybe not only 2 wins out of the last 5, maybe not what you guys are looking for. Quick look at the player stats. Kieran Dyer, and even in that AMC position, still top of the pile. Giggs, as I mentioned during the show, Okoronkwo, under the radar for Churchtown, absolutely fantastic. Vic
Saeed as
Sensi-Lizarazu,
well. Yeah.
who was being questioned by Fifey in the one-on-one, answering questions week in, week out. There's a lack of Haggis names up here, isn't there? See any? Didier Gat down in 22nd, maybe a bit lower down than you'd expect and hope. Patrick Vieira in 30th. Is it players like that that you need to come good?
Averages, smaverages.
No interest in that then. Emilian
Nah.
Penza joins Madeira at the top of the pile on goals. If we look at the assists, and it's Giggs and Zero Purcell up there.
3 left wing, 4 left wingers in the top 5.
Yeah, big, isn't it? Big position to get right. Right. Without clicking on anything I shouldn't do, I'd like to say thank you so much to both of you. Really good to have two really good voices to hear and a lot of intelligent commentary. Exactly what I expected. Thanks very much, Tato. I know it's your first time on. You've been absolutely fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed it. And thanks
Yeah,
to
certainly
everyone.
have, mate. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who's been in the comments and watching as well. Obviously, the more interaction we have, the better it is. So thank you very much, and all the best to you all. Thanks a lot, lads.
Cheers, fellas. See you later.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Bye.